Press play. That's good.
That's called shotgunning a Coke, by the way.
Can't be the real thing. Attention, all monsters, vampires, ghosts, werewolves, and zombies. Your donuts are ready.
As Halloween approaches, you have to prepare yourself for what might happen. More orange sprinkles. It's a special time of year, and Dunkin' Donuts is dressing up their donuts for the occasion. And here's the werewolf. So come to Dunkin' Donuts and get into the spirit of Halloween.
We'd like some Halloween donuts, please.
Oh, of course.
Target, we have everything you need for Halloween, including decorations that can turn any house into a haunted house and a frighteningly large selection of candy. Target, your first stop for Halloween.
Looking for this?
Come to Kmart for all your Halloween goodies. Hundreds of costumes, all 40% off. Frightful decorations, great candy. Halloween's totally cool at Kmart.
Ooh.
Mummies everywhere, all rushing to Carvel for the new Halloween ice cream cake, just $9.99. Have your mummy pick up some new ghosty cones too. The Halloween cake, $9.99.
This Halloween he's coming with something they never expected. Cookies! Simply roll out Pillsbury sugar cookies, cut, bake, then create your own deliciously spooky cookies.
Woo! Woo!
That's Hero City!
Just beyond the edge of town, a haunted house with ghosts and ghouls dares you to look around. Start in the eerie elevator, make it to the top, and chase out your first ghost. Then get a helping hand over the bridge. Oh no, you're trapped! But if you pull the secret lever, open the staircase and go down the ramp, all you need is a push in the right direction. And you're ready for more mysteries inside the haunted house. Matchbox Haunted House, part of Hero City, comes with everything seen here.
A glorious day.
And a complete breakfast with
Blueberry.
Huh? Into the waves, Boo.
Bye-bye. Frankenberry has strawberry-flavored sweeties.
Count Chocula has chocolate sweeties.
And Blueberry with blueberry-flavored sweeties.
And here are the mini monsters. 5 monsters in all. You can trade them with friends and put on a show. 1 mini monster in specially marked boxes of the monster cereals.
Nasty weather got you little monsters uptight. Make it a blockbuster night. Blockbuster has something for everyone. Even the buttiest little beasts settle down to enjoy Blockbuster. I just love a family night. If the weather's a fright, make it a Blockbuster night.
This Halloween, capture your ghosts and goblins on genuine Kodak film from Thrifty. Whether it's print, slide, or movie film, Kodak is the choice of professionals. Thrifty carries a full line of Kodak film, including C126-24 exposure, C110 and C135 24 exposure in regular and high-speed print film, KR135 36 exposure slide film, and Super 8 movie film. Remember, the sharper you want your memories, the more you need Kodak film and Thrifty.
Hey, pretty funny movie, huh?
What are you, a nut? This is scary.
Scary? This isn't scary. If you want horror, you gotta go with the classics. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolf Man.
Ooh.
Spooky, huh?
Oh, they're cool. I could send one to my mother.
You'd mail these? These are special edition. You're really starting to freak me out.
Special edition stamps now at the post office. Some stamps you just can't lick.
Konami's Castlevania The Adventure for Nintendo's Game Boy. In a maze of vampire crypts and unearthly evils, it is about to sink its fangs into you.
Give me something good to eat.
Happy Halloween! Fox Kids invite you to celebrate with us Animaniacs as we host 3 days of kooky spooky fun.
The snaps start Friday with the spectacular specials.
After Moon's Mystery Castle.
Then the fantastic fun continues with some all-new terrific Halloween adventures.
Excellent.
It's Monstrous Mayhem Saturday morning.
And a ghoulishly good time Halloween day.
So don't be a Halloween.
Watch Fox Kids Halloween.
Starting Friday on Fox Kids.
I'm Eric Chilton at the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, inviting you to a Scream Fest all Halloween week right here on the Disney Channel.
Catch the witching hour with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker in Hocus Pocus.
Trick or treat.
Go bobbing for geeks, goblins, and gremlins. And have a howling good time with Scooby-Doo. Did he say oi? Scare up a hair-raising Disney Halloween. Get a real charge from something wicked this way come. And go trick-or-treating with Frankenstein and me.
Okay, everybody who likes spooky movies say, excellent.
We dare you to watch tonight at 7/6 Central on the Disney Channel.
Don't watch it alone.
This dryer at $249.
It's another hot summer Tuesday night here in Internet Land, and that means another episode of Who's the Boss? I mean the Haunt Hour. Brought to you tonight by the Haunt Collective, a subsidiary of Kmart. Tonight's hosts are ready to go. Here is Susie Fleshick with her signature blood slushy. And Troy Cravallo with his bestie sidekick Christopher. And Dan Doble. Whoa, wait a minute, now he's into cloning. This will not end well. While we sort that out, tonight's guests from Scavenged Souls may be able to scare one of the Dans away. So throw some more coals on the barbecue, crack open a cold one, and sit down in that ratty lawn chair and let's tune into the Haunt Hour.
Another well done intro.
Subsidiary of Kmart.
Subsidiary of Kmart. You gave me way too much credit.
Well, you know, it was either that or Target, and Target's still around, so we couldn't use that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well played. Well played. Welcome, everybody, to another fabulous Haunt Hour on this fine Tuesday night. It is season 4, episode 20? 20. Yep, 20.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man,
all day.
Season flying by.
Mm-hmm.
Flying by.
Also, with last week, we told everybody how much the Weeble Wobble house was for Halloween.
Yes.
If you do want to pick up the Matchbox haunted house, it is a little bit cheaper at $150. So
no shit.
So yeah,
well, glad you brought that to our attention. I do appreciate the intros and the nostalgic throwback to 80s, 90s, and 2000s. However, there's one problem that I have with it. There's no Gus. Gus has been absent for a month now.
Oh, that's because Gus he was put in timeout in this one because he peed on the carpet. So family's very upset. That's why their back is to them. You know, he's actually behind them.
He's actually probably not even in the room.
No, he was put in the kennel for the night. So he'll be back. He'll be back next week. We had a talk, and Gus knows better now.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Are you cracking open a cold one there, buddy?
It's a cold Coca-Cola, my friend.
Coca-Cola. You're drinking it wrong. You saw how the vampire did that.
Yes.
I've decided that tonight I'm going to be eating chips because I did not have dinner. So,
well, enjoy. Everybody can get that wonderful ASMR of Troy eating chips. There they go. Viewers are just disappearing as we speak.
It's the Haunt Hour After Dark edition.
Extra hour.
It's the extra hour. So Sean thinks that wasn't my voice. I think that's pretty rude.
How dare he?
I do all the voices on the intro.
Sure.
I've never once let AI do anything.
No.
Nope.
No, not at all. In fact, AI calls you and said, "Troy, can we use your voice?"
Yeah. I am actually the voice of AI. I am. That's my official title. So.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought everybody would get sick of hearing my voice on there all the time. So I thought, let's let some other people have the spotlight for a while.
Speaking of having the spotlight for a while, where is Susie?
I have no idea.
MIA.
Yeah. I think she's getting busy. It is haunt season.
It is haunt season, and she's always got like 18 things going on.
Well, she runs 35 businesses, so there is that.
I know. So it's okay. We still love her. We miss her. We still love her.
We do. But you're here. That's good. Christopher is here. He's in the green room. He's not feeling really well, so he's going to watch the comments a little bit here and there.
That's fine. That's where he's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, he's really supposed to be in the corner because that's where we put baby.
Christopher and Gus.
Christopher and Gus are in the corner right now.
Next week, Christopher will be by himself.
Put a little dunce hat on him, But yeah, so I think we don't really have a lot of news this so I think we'll talk a little bit about ourselves because that's always fun.
It is. People love that.
Right.
People love that. We should talk about who hates us more. Who's
yeah, well, I don't think we have ours because there's a list on my end.
Yeah, I used to have a list. I don't think my list is there anymore. I think everybody that hated me is dead now.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, the old folks home and emptied out.
Yep.
The last couple of years. But yeah, the terror tours are going great. Everybody's, people are buying tickets, and that's good.
Fantastic. Are you up to like 16 buses now?
We are up to 16 buses. We added 34 haunts to the thing as well.
That's fucking phenomenal.
And we're gonna tour all of the awesome haunts in Atlanta, Georgia. No, we're not.
And I heard it's 10 days now.
It is 10 full days. We start at 7 a.m. in the morning. All the haunts are full actors with all the lights and sounds, and then we get a backstage tour of every one of them. We get dinner at every single haunted house. Food, dinner, breakfast, lunch, all that kind of stuff. There will be free alcohol at every single haunt that we go to. So if you're not pre-gaming now, then you're just not gonna be able to.
I do appreciate. I mean, I understand the high ticket price of $9.99.
Hey, I mean, I got to make a little bit of money here, Dan.
I know. That's why I said it's definitely worth it. I mean, should be 14 days, but
we could have done $7.99 and then I'd be eating ramen or $2.99 potato chips.
Right.
So
You're right.
I mean, if you guys want me to starve, that's fine. You can pay your
absolutely not, Troy. Absolutely not.
You can use discount Troy as poor, and that'll give you $8 off the ticket. I mean, that's cool.
There you go.
So
there you go.
But yeah, but we got we do have some. Which location is this? It's actually in Montana, Sean. It's in Helena, Montana.
It's the
Montana.
Montana.
They have 3,400 houses. They're all in one
tour.
I want food and beer. No. It is BYOB. I'm sorry. For $9.99, you're bringing your own shit, okay? Delaware. I think there are more haunts in Delaware than there are in Montana, so don't.
Careful.
But yeah, that's going good. We're working hard on our haunt here. Ashley is working diligently on all of the panels. We are making a Frankenstein's lab in our garage. The start of our Universal years, where we're going to make a new. Every year, we're going to add a Universal monster to it.
That's cool.
And so this year, and there may not actually be the monster in it because we're more going to do stuff that's going to be interactive. Like this year, it's going to be the slab that you can stand in front of and get a picture taken with the
Oh, it's
lounge
like a
behind
selfie.
you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it'll be
yeah.
a photo op instead.
That's cool.
So we're working real hard on that. And we are what?
I was gonna say we're getting ready to the Bergmans are coming over to take away the haunt panels this week. So
you're reverse haunting.
I'm reverse haunting. Well, I'm giving it to them, but it's just an excuse to go help them build. So
there you
probably go out there, help them set up, because God forbid I haunt, so I'll set up with them for, a month. And then October will come and it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
are you gonna go over there and act with them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
I don't know that yet, but it's gonna happen. I can't not go over there and set up something cool and then
say peace out.
Help.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good outlet. Not much going on around here, so.
Right. I mean, you can travel to see other haunted houses, and stuff like that too. There's other, lots of
stuff in Texas.
Lots of Texas. Or I did get in 2 of my Home Depot props. Sean said that he ordered the Frankenstein from them. I'm a little disappointed in that. The Frankenstein that they've got is not that great to me. Ashley saw the face, and she's a hardcore Frankenstein's monster fan.
Yeah.
She said no, like immediately. She said
It's
no.
a hard pass.
Hard pass. And then we heard the voice, and the voice track. If you don't play the voice, it'll probably be fine. But the voice track itself has audio from the movie. And it's like there's people yelling in the background, and there's several voices that are playing during the thing. It's not just one voice, it's like movie clips. And that's not what comes out of people's mouths. Like, I don't have the ability to have like 40 people screaming and pitchforks and stuff in my mouth. I mean, I'm talented, but not that good.
Yeah, you can talk a lot, but I don't know if you can have 6 mouths.
So that was a little weird too. I am not impressed with Home Depot's Frankenstein. I will put it that way. But I did get in the tree and the arch, the pumpkin arch. I'm gonna be lighting the pumpkin arch because it's not lit. But I'm also thinking about putting a projection screen on it as well, so I can project from behind it and put a cool projection on it. So that was cool. We're gonna
arch.
Huh?
How big is that pumpkin arch?
It is a little under 8 feet tall, or a little over 8 feet tall. So it's I have a big archway in front of my house as my entrance, and it's just underneath that. So I think that archway is about 10 feet tall.
Yeah,
so
I
figure it's got about a 6 foot wide entrance area, so you could easily fit 2 people walking through it, nicely. People are disappointed it's not lit, and like I told people on some of the posts, I was like, the problem is you add lights to it. Now you're adding electrical, you're adding UL stuff, and you're adding at least $100 of cost that they will increase. So that thing will be $399 instead of $299, or I think it was $199 actually. So I'm like, are you willing to pay another $100 for you not to be able to put your own lights in it?
Right.
Like I bought an LED light neon rope that I'm going to put inside of it, and it's going to take me 20 minutes to do that.
Yep.
And they even have little clips that I can stick to the inside of the pumpkins that I can put it in, and I can just pull it off those clips and reinstall it the next year. So I'm going to try it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm feeling, but like, to me, I'm like, they provided the cool part of the product. Now as a haunter, I can modify it and make it better and make it my own. It would have been cool if it was lit, but I understand why it's not. It comes
it's going to be Chinese lighting if they lit it anyway, and the shit's going to be burnt out by the end of season 2 anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
You might as well just get it cheaper and put your own stuff in there.
Right.
Totally makes sense.
And it comes apart like in 6 or 8 pieces. So trying to figure out how to get the lighting in there with people installing it themselves, somebody's going to bend the light string and it's going to break, and then they're going to complain and have, so it's just easier to not have it. And I get it. So the tree is really cool. We're going to have to add some moss to it to hide some of the seams and stuff like that. But that tree, it'll look really cool. That'll be our segue to the creature from the Black Lagoon next year. I want to build the boat, or at least part of the boat. And so that tree will be our swamp, and that'll be our hint of what we're doing next year.
Look at you with the.
I know. working it all in there, you know. And me and Christopher are working diligently on the award show. So that'll be coming out here in a couple of weeks. So that'll be great. And I think that's it. We do have one little bit of news that's actual news, so we will.
Haunting news.
Haunting news.
Yes, I saw this big news.
Yeah. So this is at Spirit in little 4-ounce bottles. So that is like a shot glass. Right. I mean, you don't need a lot. Lots of people like lots of people love the Perma Blood. And of course, you can still get this from Pale Knight as well. You don't have to buy it from Spirit. Obviously there'll be a little difference in price probably. But this is good for like a pinch. I mean, we've all bought Spirit Fog Juice. We've all bought, I've bought Guitar Center Fog Juice on the day of Halloween before because Froggies can't get it to me in time, So this is good for that type of thing. I wouldn't expect people to buy this and then go and make a prop with it because you probably already have that stuff already because you've been making the prop for a while. But if you need something for a costume, you need something in a pinch, maybe you bought a prop that had blood on it and it's already come off because you've had it out for a while. This is perfect to put back on it. And it'll last a lot longer than what you bought it with. So they did say it will not be in every single store. I would expect there are a good amount of stores that are costumes and masks only, or like little decor. They may not have it. I know the one in my little town is going to just be costumes. But probably a lot of the big ones, like probably in like the major part of Dallas, they're going to have it. In Milwaukee, they're going to have it, but maybe not some of the smaller outskirt towns and things like that. So, and they may be seeing how well it sells too, and they're also going to have green as well. So it won't just be red.
Like fluorescent green, or is it like
he says it, yes, it is a perma grime UV green is what they're calling it. So their name will be Perma Blood Green, but it is, he said this is a custom color similar to their grime UV. So it may not be UV reflective, but the color of it will be a grimy green.
Got it.
So that'll be cool. I mean, at least Spirit's trying to get a little more advanced, not just using because I mean their blood is garbage.
Yes.
See, Kevin, who is our resident Spirit guru, says to see it at the Art the Clown display. Probably right around there. So that makes sense. He's got lots of blood on him.
Thanks, Kevin. Love that.
Kevin.
Love that.
Actually, they have it on. You could buy it online right now. So it is $10.
That's not bad at all.
No, $10, and it's probably going to be that in the store too. So, it says it's imported. Yeah, it's imported from Pale Knight.
Cute.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we do have a very cool.
You love the how-to of the week.
We do. Now this is a throwback.
Ew.
It's somebody who did it new. This was a year ago, but the method is a throwback. This is built on the shiatsu method.
Oh my goodness, that is throwback.
No, sorry. It is Mariah Carey's Christmas special. So that's what we're gonna have. God, who would go to this? Who would go? No. So this uses, instead of the shiatsu, it uses these baby swaddler thingies.
Not a shiatsu. That's completely different.
Well, a shiatsu is something you get in the bad part of towns.
Bless you, shiatsu.
Right? Don't you get it in Akamanawak?
Wasn't shiatsu on the Olympics yesterday?
She won 4 gold medals. She's quiet.
Yeah, that's what it was. I knew that.
Yeah. So this uses a little bit different method, and this has a much different movement than a shiatsu, because a shiatsu kind of just goes up and down like this, where this one has more of a swinging motion. So you're going to get more of a swaying zombie. So he does a very good job of this is like, so he used like
I love the animations.
Like it's very well presented how he does. It's very like there's no fluff, so they're not like my how-tos, but it's very concise on what you need to do and what each part will, you know, what your action will cause on the next part and all that. Lots of good parts lists, a lot of stuff you have around the house. Like he uses bungee cords for some of it, you know, nails, all kinds of stuff. So he does lots of good stuff like that. Shows you all different kinds of ways to do. I do like how he does this with the arms. He uses the bungee cord to make the arms more movable. So you can even do that with a regular skeleton, not for the shiatsu thing. If you want a more fluid moving skeleton like you see there, bungee cords evidently. I never thought of that. Just go sit in your cold tub, Sean. You'll be fine.
I'll give you a shiatsu in a minute.
Yeah. So, but he does a very good job of, you know, and he even talks about the costume distressing, and even does a lot of the burlap, pool noodle stuff. Shows you how to do all of the cool, plenty of distressing, and then he also shows you how to get the like a lot of the foliage. But I do love the movement is extra. I love it.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cool.
It's a lot more fluid than the shiatsu was.
Yeah, that's using elastic bands in the joints is smart because it totally looks good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So it's a new take on the shiatsu with the muumuu, whatever, you know, baby carriage thingy. So it'll be up on our Facebook page. It is on our we have on our page, just so people can see, on the Haunt Collective YouTube page. We have playlists where we have obviously our 4 seasons here, but we also have a Haunt Hour DIY of the Week playlist where you can see all of the videos that we've put on here. So you've got all the ones we've done over the time. Not all of them. I haven't put every single one of them on here yet, but most of them have been on here. So you can check that out.
That is well done, Troy.
I try.
Well done.
I try. You know what also is well done?
I bet I do.
The people, because it's very warm down in Georgia right now, so they are very well done. They do a very well done haunted house.
There it is. That's where. That's that. I didn't know where you're going with that, but that worked out.
Going everywhere with it.
We ordered the crappy. Yeah.
Oh, you ordered the crappy one? Here's the people from a haunted house down somewhere that they do things with.
What's
some
their
things.
they name again?
They scare little kids. How rude.
Oh, speaking of scaring
in there.
Before we introduce you guys, because I want to check in. Obviously, you guys are alive and safe, so that's good. Did the hurricane cause any issues at your place?
No. Nope.
Good.
No winds.
Good to hear. Good.
Where are you guys located in Georgia? Like from Atlanta?
We're a little northwest of Atlanta. 45 minutes northwest of Atlanta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're in the north part of Georgia then. Okay.
Yep. Yes.
They probably didn't even get. Do you guys even get rain?
Nope.
Not a bit.
You're like, damn.
They're just deceivingly large.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of deceiving and large, welcome, Scavenged Souls. To the Haunt Hour.
Well, hi.
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 Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. As you guys know, we go through and we talk to everybody about their haunted house. But before we do that, we'd like to get to know you guys a little bit, let the crowd know who you guys are and what's going on. So if you guys just go around the table there and tell us why you love haunting, and we'll go from there.
I'm Tracy. I love haunting because we ended up making it a charity thing and we feed a lot of people with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm I, grew up loving Halloween. Did stuff at the parents' house. Did haunted house in college, and then when Tracy and I finally got a real house out of the apartment, we started doing yard displays and having fun with that. And then these two moved in across the street, and it went off the rails.
Yes.
So I'm Nicole. This is my husband. I don't do a lot with the haunt most of the year because we have 5 kids, and I have to be the one that does all the sports and the school events, and I have a job and I homeschool. And so anyway, we have a lot going on. So I do all of that mostly. I do act in it. So my favorite part about haunting is literally acting. It's kind of an outlet for me, and it's a blast. So
right. It's a stress reliever.
Yeah.
She has to be nice the rest of the year. So that's her.
Right.
He has to be an adult.
I am Nicole's husband. My name is actually Robert. And very similar to Mike, when I was a kid, I got into Halloween early and just did a lot of yard displays at my family's house, and quickly decided that wasn't enough and started to build some small walkthroughs, and realized that my Halloween goal, instead of trick-or-treating on my own, was to see how much candy I could get other kids to drop in my yard running away. So it's just kind of always been in my blood for one reason or another. And so, yeah, when we moved in, we had no idea we were moving in across the street from another haunter's house until that first Halloween. And we said, what? And so
awesome.
Just a few years.
So we kind of joined forces, and then that's like Mike said, when it went off the rails.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because we, Tracy and I were doing yard displays, and when Robert and Nicole moved in, they did some yard displays, and then one year he did a walkthrough, and we were like, wait a minute. So we had been doing this kind of unspoken one-upping of each other, and we decided that maybe it would be better to just combine things. And the neighborhood hasn't been the same.
So how many years did you guys one up before you joined forces?
2, maybe? Yeah, maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
It escalated quickly, as they say.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what me and my neighbor next door over here. I moved in and I didn't look at the overview of, like, I didn't look at his overview. I looked at mine before I bought it because I was moving from Oregon to Texas. So I was just looking at pictures, and I didn't notice the great stuff barrels behind the house. And when I was putting up my sheds, I'm looking over the fence and I'm like, those are metal barrels with great stuff coming out of them. Only one type of person does that.
Yeah.
And so I put my fence up, and he comes over and he goes, so what's that for? And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, maybe I was wrong. And he goes, you do Halloween? I go, yeah. And he goes, this is going to be awesome. And so he did his display. I did mine. And then he immediately came over and he said, we got to put a sign at the end of the street. We've got it. You can use my part of the yard if you want over here. We have a shared middle yard. And then another guy down the street, like 3 houses down, he found out about us. And he's like, I used to do a haunt over in another part of Dallas. And now I move here. And now you guys are here. So now we have 3 of us on one street. So I totally feel you. But you mentioned that you did it in college. Did you do it at the college?
Yeah, I forget which organization it was, but basically we did a charity haunted house in the attic of the dorm that I was in.
Oh.
And we collected canned food, and it was an engineering school, so we did a lot of crazy stuff up there that
so that's
probably wasn't.
I get it. Yeah. Cheater. Was the school doing it before you got there, or was it something that you guys, dreamt up of doing while you were there?
I wasn't the instigator of it. I got pulled in, and it was a lot of fun. I don't know if they did it after that year. This was my freshman year when we did it, so I don't know if they did it beforehand.
Okay. Nice.
That time period.
Also, cool. We have a his last name is long. I don't remember his first name. He had on our he was on our first year, and he now is at college, and that was the first thing he did was he like went to the college people and he was like, so I run a huge haunted house in Florida and I would really like to do it here. And they were like, yes. So they let it, and I believe, is it Florida State is the Gators?
No, it's the Seminoles.
No. University.
Yeah.
So University of Florida, that's where he's at. And so they have a haunted house there now that he runs. So that's and I'm sure they use some sort of educational part of it too. But yeah, it's that's cool when
it's all an
education. Right.
You learn a lot.
Yeah. So when you guys first started doing the walkthroughs together, how did that come to be?
We did a walkthrough, like Mike mentioned. We did a walkthrough on our own the first year we tried it, and I mean, there were no casualties. It went pretty well.
Yeah,
the budget was basically nothing, so it really wasn't that scary. But it was fun, and people seemed to enjoy it.
It was a lot of like trash bag walls. And,
yeah,
you know, all the animatronic stuff that you would find. Spiders, and you have to start somewhere, you know.
Right. Yeah. So it was more just kind of dipping our toes in the idea of it. The kids were a lot younger then, but they were really into the idea of it after the previous year of doing, you know, a big kind of decoration yard display. But I think that kind of broke the seal in both of our heads of thinking about, well, wait a minute, we could really blow this up and do something ridiculous. So I think it was after that first year we started thinking about the next year, and we were saying we should talk to Mike and Tracy because they have much better props. And so we asked them. I think we asked you guys something about the bodies that you had made.
Yeah,
like some of your mannequins setups or whatever.
Yeah.
And out of that, I think it was the very first conversation too. By the end of it, we were all saying, you know, we should just work together. It'd be a lot more fun. And so we did.
So he had that angle the entire time he was talking to you, but he was like, how am I going to work this in? How do you make these bodies? I got him. I'm in. So you have a video for your 2022 haunt. Did you do anything before that? Or was it just like?
We've been doing this together for, I think we're on year 8 or 9.
This will be
8 years.
Okay.
We didn't think to document it before.
Yeah, our skills at documenting have ramped up a lot slower than our skills at spending money on haunt stuff.
Right. I hear you.
Yep. It was all an afterthought, and then we're like, hey, we don't have a video of the walkthrough, so I would go through with my cell phone and literally explain things as we're walking through. Ooh, that's ancient. What year was that? That's 2 years ago. 2 years ago. That was the enter your own risk sign we made like very first year.
Yeah, it was our first time.
Trash cans are
spooky air conditioner. Spooky.
Yeah. They're very well camouflaged.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. At night, you can't see it.
It worked. Fake plants, man. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the daylight walkthroughs are just, they don't hit the same.
No.
No.
They definitely don't.
Especially
do you
when
get a lot of wind where you are?
Only when it's poorly timed.
Of course.
Yeah,
okay.
The stories we could tell you about when was it? It was one of the years here. Was it 2019?
You know, it was the tarp tunnel.
It was 19 or
there
20.
Was
yeah. This long tunnel that they're walking through now used to be built out of PVC and a giant roofing tarp in a different yard. And that year was that was the year we got the tropical storm came through.
And then the cold front like 3 days later too.
And the cold front 3 days later. And we've never broken so many PVC joints. That tunnel laid down on us a few times, and that big entrance arch that you walked through at the beginning fell over in the middle of the night. Yeah. Tracy and I were outside at 4 a.m. during the storm, pulling tombstones out of the ground as they were running down the street.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were like Jim Cantor out there in the front yard.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
October in North Georgia is when all the crap from the Gulf finally makes it up here.
Yeah, and it'll be mid 70s one day, and then you'll get a cold front come through, and you'll get 40, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, and then it'll be 40 the next day. So it's a ridiculous weather season.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like the feeling of hanging onto PVC with a tarp going, I hope we don't end up in Alabama.
Right.
So we just walked into the back of the garage, I'm assuming?
No, this is the basement.
Yeah, this is actually my basement.
You get on the side of the house and round to the basement.
Yep.
Got it.
Basement, when we started doing the walkthroughs, I think only the first year we didn't go into the basement. And then every year after that, we've used the basement.
Right.
And we actually started across the street and then ended up moving into the house we're in now, which is side by side with Mike and Tracy. But the basement we're in now has 2 doors, which makes it a lot easier to bring people in, run them around, and then route them. We started out in a basement that had 1 door, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the cat.
It doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, it's fun when you've got everybody going through the basement and 1 door and a reversible door to control traffic and very few actors and just trying to remember when to do what.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All that fun stuff.
It makes me sweat a little bit thinking about all that. Twitch around. Oh. There we go.
It's dark.
Yeah, so this is still 2022.
Yeah, this is all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this
is our tomb.
This facade thing in front, the gray with the lines on it, was like an altar, and we had an actor laying on top of that. Looked like they were being sacrificed. There was a pump that would pump water with red food coloring out at the top, so it would stream down the little channels and collect. Yeah, and collect behind this mask and then come out of the eyes. And then there's a big pipe at the bottom to collect it all and run it back through an aquarium pump.
Worked surprisingly well.
Yeah, it worked ridiculously well.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Something that makes me twitch thinking about what I had to do to get it to work. Beat for like 2 weeks worth of nights, and we had to keep patching it with flex tape, waterproof flex tape on the back. But
yeah,
it worked unreasonably well.
So what was the theme of this year?
This year was the theme was a tomb.
Okay, yeah, like an Aztec, Mayan, something ancient
when
civilization tomb.
When you first walked in, you walked through a pyramid facade.
Yeah, I gathered that.
Yeah,
Fairly
that was cool.
It went up to the 2nd floor. It was
it
pretty
was
impressive.
Yeah. We don't know how to build things. We use kind of like old Soviet engineering practices. So if we're worried about it being structurally sound, we just double everything. So these things end up weighing hundreds of pounds, and they're stupid big and ridiculous. We don't have any metal working skills, so it's all wood. So as it gets bigger, we have to add more thickness.
Storage is tight too, so at the end of the season, we have to take all those down and try and figure out why we used 18,000 screws to hold 2 pieces of wood together and all of that. Where all this is gonna go.
This looks so different with the lights on.
I know.
Right? Yeah. But it's cool to see, how much detail you put in there, because a lot of people, I mean, we notice this stuff when we go through, like we notice the cobwebs, and, we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago, because somebody had mentioned, well, if I put if I have a 50s living room and I put a flat screen TV in there, is anybody going to notice? And your brain will notice that. While they say, well, but a lot of people don't notice the little details in haunts because they're not looking, but they are. Their brain is. Their brain is looking and saying, okay, everything in here is 50s. I know it is. I'm not seeing anything out of place, because your brain can do that super fast. So then it allows you to not worry about what's in the room. And so if you didn't have those things, like all the cobwebs on your shelves there, that fits with being underground and being in a tomb. So there would be those things there. If it wasn't there, you'd be like, well, this is a pretty clean room, You get the jewels everywhere and everything. I like that. I don't see this theme very often.
And a lot of these details you put in for yourself, you know that a lot of people are just going to run through it, not pay attention, but
Right. I think that's a little more pertinent for home haunters that people don't look at the details as much as I think pro haunts, because I think pro haunts people are paying money to go in, so they want to know that they're going to be in this type of a theme and they want to feel it. Where home haunts, they really have no idea what's behind that gate or behind that garage, facade or whatever. And that's why most people are blown away by what home haunters can do.
We've gotten that comment a few times.
Yeah.
So now you're back outside, and one of my favorite comments to hear from actors that overhear it is guests saying, "Wait, are we inside? Are we outside? Are we back inside again?" Like they're so disoriented, they don't even know if they're inside or outside.
Yeah.
That's when you feel you hit a sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you've gotten into that stage of disorientation.
Yeah. There's just lots of detail.
Oh, guys, covered up with.
They're covered up with their trash bags. The weatherproofing.
I'm about to ask what those are. I'm like, what are?
That's not scary.
They were in robes and had gold faces.
Oh yeah, you don't want those to get ruined.
Like followers.
Yeah, this scene, like the pillars there that were framing that opening in the back, there was one of the puppets that we had made. It's like a wearable puppet, like a big, tall. Was he like 13 feet tall or something?
13 feet tall.
And he's got arms with sticks that you can drive him with. He was back there with an actor inside of him. So him around, they'd have to interact with him. And we had a pitch shifting voice rig on the actor that was running that, so they could interact with the groups in real time as they came through, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
right.
This is the maze.
Yeah, this maze,
the disorienting maze.
That maze is made out of prayers and dreams at this point. It's
right.
That maze has lasted longer than it has any right to.
Yeah, it's framed, custom made wood frames, and what's like 4 mil sheeting.
Yeah,
I don't know how the sheeting's still back, to be honest.
Absolute
But
crap load of tape and staples.
that was one of the first like really large scale props we made, and we're still using it because it's so amazingly effective.
We've used it pretty much every year.
That's a long line.
It looks like last year. Yeah.
This is still
2020.
Yeah.
So how much food did you do for 22?
22 was, I think, like 2,400, 2,500 pounds.
That's awesome.
We were trying to cross the metric ton mark, and we made that.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, there's that. This is a lot better with the lighting.
Yeah.
It's all about lighting.
Right.
I love that.
There's our sacrifice.
Yeah.
You see. The picture with the blue thing.
It's all about the lighting. Yeah, this looks a lot better with lighting.
Change. Doesn't matter what the theme is. There's always a
chainsaw.
Always. You got the upshots going. You got a little photo up there with your name on it. Very smart. Very smart. Oh yeah.
That's one of my kids. He made this outfit and did that. I think it's 2022 was the first year. He did it one night, and it was such a big hit, and he got so addicted to it, being a floater in this kit, that for 2023 he did it every night, and it was amazing. So yeah.
Those are cool.
I love those.
Oh, there we go. Oh, very nice. Had how long had he practiced on the stilts before he got it down?
This might honestly have been like the second time he'd ever done it.
Yeah, but he was running on it, like able to stand up. He would chase people down the street in the dark in that thing.
Yeah,
and just the screens. It was
crazy how quickly he got used to it and got good at it.
Yeah, by the end of the first night, the first year we did it, he was walking around standing up without having.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's our big puppet.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
We call him Grim.
Grim. Oh yeah, and there's the blood coming out. That is a genius thing. I like that a lot. I like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you don't see that type of
That
stuff.
was one of those when it worked, but it was a lot of stress getting to that point.
Right. Well, like last week's
But
guest,
you guys
they had that freaking all the organ with the water coming off it and everything like that. And they're like, we're amazed that it works every time, So
Yep.
Whenever you invite liquid into it, it's always fun.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be several more years for a liquid crop again.
Yeah.
Liquid does what it wants to. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. You guys do very good on the lighting. I do love all the different contrasts and the
Mike is our lighting engineer extraordinaire.
Nice. I mean, just the little candles in there, just add a little bit of,
depth,
grabbing your eye and focus. That's a good shot. I like that. Yeah, that's great. The laser swab. So then you've gone on to what I saw this because you guys put in for the award show, which is where I originally found you guys from. So talk to us about how you go into planning your walkthrough every year. What's like this? What is step one?
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Alcohol. Yes.
Alcohol. Yeah. Woo.
When Halloween season is over, we usually goes out to dinner to celebrate and talk about what worked and what didn't, and that's when we kind of put the call out to each other to start thinking about a theme. And then usually in January, maybe early February, we get together again and start tossing out theme ideas and decide what we all like. And once we settle on that, we pull out the printouts of the basement, the backyard, and whatnot, and start sketching ideas and coming up with prop ideas and, figuring out what projects we want to do, and then panic over what it's going to cost and how long it's going to take.
We do that all year, though.
Yeah, we do that all year.
That's all year.
It starts in the winter, and then it just builds from there. So.
That early phase, though, is also fun because that's when the really wild, ridiculous ideas are getting floated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the first brainstorm phase has got to be like, whatever, man, pie in the sky. What's the crazy thing you can think of that'll go with this theme? And those are always entertaining discussions.
The kind of reality hits.
Start to whittle it down from there with, a few doses of reality.
Start thinking about cost again.
Yeah.
As always.
Or, can we build this and people actually survive it?
We actually we survive
it.
How many, between 22 and 23, how many people did you get in 22? Do you guys count how many people you get through?
We do count. I want to say in 22, we were hitting around 1,600 or so. And this past year, we did 2,400, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
So it's growing.
And this is over 7 nights.
Okay. So. 7 nights. Okay. How many actors do you normally put in there?
Never enough. Yeah, never enough.
Never enough.
Depending on between 15 and 20.
Okay.
We can get the ones we want.
Yeah.
We're kind of choosy because, you got to find somebody that's dependable and is willing to work for free, has the right kind of personality. How it's not always easy. You can't just put anybody in the haunt.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah.
It's a weird kind of acting improv niche. So to find somebody that can do that and enjoys doing it enough to do it, more than once.
Right.
Because we found that there's a lot of people that get excited and say they want to work in a haunted house, and after 30 minutes, they're done.
Right.
Yep.
We can't do this anymore.
So.
That room.
That room was so great.
Turned out better.
I had to rewind this 10 times because I love watching these videos when people do this.
The best is the parents. The best is the parents.
I know.
The kids are like, "What happened?" And the parents are.
So where was he that he was able to do that?
Yeah, and this still photo of him that's coming up. I'll show you. That photo, that picture to the left there, He comes out from behind that.
Yeah, it's a panel. There's a space behind it, and that whole door
The
the
whole
picture's
door
on
opens.
up.
Yeah, the whole wall pops open, and he's got a button trigger on the other side that sets off the lights and audio and the air blast.
So they walk in
blast.
just thinking it's a cool room to check out, you know. So they're sitting there going quietly, like checking everything out, and then he just busts through that door and the noise and the lights, and then he's like holding on to this. You can kind of see it at the top there, this pole where he's like swinging on it. He jumps on a box and then swings at it.
There's like a fake coffee table that he jumps up on so he can be up above everybody, and you know, strobe lights going off, the audio changes. And,
That's so awesome.
Yeah, there was there was music playing in this room when I first walked in, like old timey, you know, I don't know how you describe the genre of music.
30s, think like
because
30s.
the theme for this haunt was like old haunted house. So you know,
Here, what I'm gonna do? I'm
like get these music or something like that, and yeah, he hits the button and comes out, and the strobe light kicks on, the air blast goes off. There's a big screaming noise, and he screams on top of it, and he comes just flying out. Yeah.
So
The amount of people that sat on the floor was awesome.
Yeah.
Watch that for a while.
You can watch these all day.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They never get old.
That's like
So good.
Yeah. So now I'll mute it so we can talk. But this is that guy. I swear to God, that guy's the creepiest haunt actor I've seen in a long time.
It's just the trot.
It is. It's just, but I love the fact that they enter the room through the fridge, not the other way around. Most time you leave through the fridge. Look, she's just
She was like narrating, and it was hysterical. It was like she was scripted or something. It was amazing. I love that we caught that.
Yeah. It's just he plays that. I mean, look at that guy.
So good.
It's so good. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
when
that
you
refrigerator
to drop panel.
a lot of people remember.
Yeah, that refrigerator was a highlight. It was like for everybody last year. That was the gag we heard the most about was the fridge.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah.
That was also the fire marshal's favorite, if I recall.
Yes, the fire marshal loved it.
Yeah. Do you guys have a lot of problems with fire marshal? Or any problems?
No, actually, I handled most of that since it's my property.
Yeah.
But he actually is a hunter as well. So that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. So, you know, he wants us to succeed. The fact that we're a charity, you know, also makes it easy to root for us. So he just wants to make sure that, you know, we're paying attention to the safety things that we need to pay attention to, and we want to too. So it works out.
Yeah, we also have a professional hunt not too far from us that he was already inspecting, so it's not like he wasn't familiar with how all this works.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's good. Our entire audience left when you said that your fire marshal's a haunter, so we all hate you. So that's cool. Our entire show.
Let's need to move here.
Yeah.
And then we can all combine forces.
There we go. Yeah. Haunters Row. I do. How did you do the walls in here with the different you know, lines and stuff?
Different rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 different paint rollers.
2 different paint rollers, and then just kind of went at it with some black edges.
Okay.
Like, so the walls were black to begin
Yeah.
with, so you do a crappy paint job on top of that, and it's partially distressed already.
Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, that was mostly Tracy's handiwork.
Going through the closet. That's cool.
Oh, this room.
This room was also
terrifying.
This one is my favorite.
Yeah, this is one of my children under the bed.
For that guy right there.
Yeah.
Oh, does he come out from underneath the bed?
Yes.
Yes.
He has a horrific scream.
Yeah, you definitely, the audio on this one's worth it as well.
Yeah.
If you're up for it. The sound he makes doesn't really sound human.
No, I don't know how he does it.
Oh my God.
Somehow made this noise.
I love you. Oh my God.
He made that every group, every night, until almost the very end. When
Yeah.
he finally started to crack.
And then we were like feeding him coffee, you know, like throat drops and stuff. We're like, don't lose that.
You have to do the thing.
So
But that room, the story behind that room is funny too, because his first year really acting was the 2022 year, the haunt, the tomb. And he only worked a couple nights in there, but it got under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we started planning for 23, he basically described that room like he wanted to come out from underneath something and skitter around.
Oh yeah,
Because he skitters.
Yeah, he moves real natural looking. It's
He's super skinny and tall, so he's just got legs and arms
like a
everywhere.
spider. But he's really good at getting into the character and being very believably in the character, and the noises he can make are
There was really no coaching that we had to do for him for that room. Really, it was his idea, and he figured out what he wanted to do, and then he worked with the actor we had on the bed to coordinate how they wanted to handle things, and that was it.
Yep.
So is that how you approach your acting? I mean, do you kind of give them an idea of what they're going to be, or is it kind of a group effort with the actor and you guys, or do you just tell them this is what you're going to do?
Yes and no. I mean, a large chunk of our actors are part of the builds and works on the haunt, because I mean, with Robert and Nicole and their 5 kids, that's 7 actors we already have right there. And then 3 other people that we have in the haunt are neighbors a couple of doors down, and he does all of our audio and stuff like that. So he's involved, and his younger daughter gets sacrificed every year somehow.
She was the one on the altar.
She was the one on the altar. So they generally have an idea of what they're in for, where they're going to be, because we kind of all decide it together. But for outside actors that we bring in, we generally tell them, we have a walkthrough for actors before we open. They
get a feel for their room.
They see where we want to put them, what things look like.
We have an idea, and then we kind of let them develop it.
Yeah, we give them pointers on costumes and stuff like that, and they put it together. Or if they come in, they're like, I'm just not feeling this room, then we can work out how to move them around before they actually start working.
Right.
So the cool thing about this actor in this room is that he has a genetic thing where he doesn't have all of his fingers anyway. So it's funny because there's like thumbs and fingers on the table or whatever. He'll like pick up fingers and like toss them, but he doesn't actually have them on his actual hands. So it just freaks people out naturally anyway.
They can't put it together.
Yeah.
I do love the way that you guys spatially use each room, like as far as adding steps to each room. For instance, walking around the bed, walking around the island. It's a great way to keep people immersed in each scene.
So you can't give them a straight path.
No.
No, he is.
Yeah, there's a finger.
Yeah.
He also
He is
had
that.
Mike was saying.
Yeah, he had a gag he would do where he would put cons on the table, and he'd hit them with his hammer when people came in. Then he'd eat them.
So like they were
It
roaches
looked
or
like
something.
bugs
Because there were other bug props on the table too.
Yeah,
it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it definitely you guys definitely have it down of ramping. I like the up and down, like going through the the clothes closet. People get a calm down, and then they go back, and then they go into the bedroom, and now they're ramped up again. And
when do you guys start setting up? I mean, there's a lot of detail in this.
Mm-hmm.
A couple months ago.
May.
I mean, if we weren't on
your basement, that's pretty easy to do.
So their kids have just gotten used to us living in their basement. If they hear noises in the basement, they're like, it's Mike and Tracy.
And they're just in there.
Because the kids have just grown up with a haunt in their basement, because we've always done it in their basement. And then we are like the shop and the storage and things like that at our house.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, that's our youngest in the crib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
That was really, I guess that was his first year really doing it.
Kinda, yeah.
He kind of tried 2022, but last year was the first time we really wanted to.
Was it the year before that, or the couple years before? We had the doll room where I had them hanging. I mean, they were stapled to the ceiling and everything else.
That was 21.
Yeah. It was terrifying.
And so, do you change the track of it every year? Do you take all of it down and then redistribute, or is it kind of the same path, but then you're changing up what's in rooms or whatever?
Yes and no. We tweak it based on the theme and the limited room based on the basement shape.
Right.
But we try not to have it be exactly the same every time.
Right.
Yeah, there's only so many ways to run a loop or
Right.
run a path from one door around to the next door.
Yeah.
But within that, we do try to change it up. We have some tweaks that I like. Yeah, for 24. So.
Yeah, the lattice
And
maze
outside.
is like that. It is such a just the sheer fact that your maze went from black plastic to this in a year.
Yeah.
No.
Two separate props.
No, that's two separate things.
Yeah.
No, what you don't see in this video is the maze they go through, because there's no lighting in the maze. So when our photographer filmed it, he skipped it because there was
nothing.
You couldn't see anything. It was just several people being confused.
Okay.
But that maze that you saw has been in every walkthrough we've done.
Nice.
In some different form.
Yeah.
They change the maze every year.
Yeah, the maze layout changes every year.
Yeah, it's sectional panels, like 1, 2, and 3 segment panels out of wood frame with sheeting over it. And every year we sit down with a piece of grid paper and draw out, how do we want to rearrange it?
Right.
Keep people guessing. So.
He was on stilts too.
Yeah, that was me. Like,
he looked
That's
pretty
a great
tall.
costume. I like that costume.
that was my first time on stilts, and it was in my backyard on the grass on a slight hill in the dark.
And there were some humid nights, I remember.
It was.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really hot in there. I had on.
When people leave, do you like ask them what their favorite part was? Is there like from this year, was there a resounding one that everybody said they really liked, or one that they maybe missed from last year or something?
Most of the feedback we got was on the fridge. One year we had a person that was extra that did exit interviews, but it's really rare for us to have enough people to do that sort of thing. So we just encourage them to post about what they like and don't like.
I feel like social media has been really good for that. I mean, that's kind of what I did a lot last year. Was we have a Facebook page that's just for our county, and it's very, very active. There's thousands and thousands of people on that Facebook page, and man, you just post about it 1 or 2 times. And I mean, the comments, we get hundreds of comments on there. And then, once people come through, then they're sharing it. So really like the biggest thing is just word of mouth. And like teenagers love haunted houses. The only other one that's local around here is like $50 a head to go through. And their theme doesn't, ever really change. It's pretty much, it's very well done, but for kids who can't afford $50, this is a good option. Bring some canned goods and have a lot of fun. So,
so what do you think? Have you released what your theme is going to be this year?
No.
Nope.
No, we released that on open.
Secret. We got last week to say what it was going to be.
Oh.
I mean, we've been really thinking about doing the Haunted Mansion, but
Yeah, one year we'll be able to pull that off.
They just don't want me to come. That's why. Like if we do Haunted Mansion, Troy won't come. So let's do that.
I don't know why you don't like Haunted Mansion, Troy. It's mind-boggling to me.
Everybody does Haunted Mansion, so
Well, we figure one day your territories will lose enough money that you'll come to our home haunt.
Right, there you go. There you go.
There you go.
The fun thing with the Haunted Mansion, though, is our original makeup artist with the family down the street went to college based on working with us and is now headed to Disney to be part of their program
for an internship.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe one day she'll be in the Haunted Mansion.
See, there you go.
Awesome.
Haunting is the gateway.
Something. Maybe several things.
Right. So you mentioned some crazy ideas and crazy themes and stuff you guys come up with. So we do have a question about that.
It's the Hunter's Toolbox question of the week.
Yeah.
Scene? Oh.
So this could be for you guys of what crazy theme you've wanted to do, or one that you've been to a haunt and you've seen it was like, this is nuts. Because I have one. So
I'll tell you, we tossed around the idea of Titanic or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Doing some sort of, and I think that was that early this year we talked about doing it? 2 years ago.
Brainstorming 2 years ago.
And we had, talked about how you're loading the ship in the beginning, and then you're going in, and we would use lighting and fog to simulate, the water rising, and but just because it's a basement and everything's pretty much the same level, you can't really simulate going up and down floors or climb, so we nixed that idea. I think it was one of the kids' ideas.
We've had a couple of crazy ideas that involve changing floors by going up onto the deck, or onto the main level of the house and stuff.
And so one of the things that I keep coming back to, and I will until I die, is somehow like some kind of a room that moves the group around to disorient them. So whether it's, hey, you're in an elevator and you come out somewhere different, or you go into a room and the room actually rotates with them in it, and then they come out the same door, but it's actually a different passage. I swear it's probably in the past 5 years, I've tried during the brainstorming phase, say, hey, maybe now we can do this stupid, horrifying thing that'll break everybody. But we continue to nip it in the bud and say, no, put that back in the crazy box for now. But yeah, something about that as a gag. Because one of the things we like to do when we're brainstorming is try and think of something that people are absolutely not going to be expecting in a home haunt. And something that even if you went and saw in a pro haunt would be wild. Say, wow, that was an amazing gag. I cannot believe that.
Right.
But for a home haunt would be.
But for a home haunt especially would just completely blow you away. And it's hard to find the balance between that effect and actually being able to do it.
Right.
So, we watch a crap load of haunt videos and reviews and stuff like that to see what other people do. And we have a large bucket list of things that other haunts do that
Oh, I'm sure.
The crazy box.
The crazy box.
We do. And occasionally we've picked up on a few ideas and be like, okay, we're going to do that. And by the time we get around to doing it, however we're able to do it and cram it in and whatnot, it's nothing like what it started as.
Yeah.
I think the most terrifying thing we've experienced in someone else's haunt was we all thought we were going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Was this little, it was like a little shed.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And it was filled to the ceiling with foam bubbles.
Yes. Foam.
But there was no way to breathe. Like you walk in and it's just, I mean, there's literally no air pockets. So you're having to like make your own, and the foam's coming in and you can't see anything or know where to go to get
right.
I thought I was going to become a prop.
And we thought we were going to die.
And
it was the scariest time.
It was just, you went in a door, you turned 90 degrees, you walked, what, 8 feet?
Maybe.
Turned another 90 degrees and went back out a second door. It was tiny. It was just literally one room. And it was the closest my brain has ever thought I would have been to dying.
And it was gone the next year.
Yeah.
But it was bright, so it was just this bright white bubbles everywhere.
There is a haunt here in Texas. It is Cutting Edge, and it's one of the world's longest haunted houses. They kept having the world record, and one of the things to get that world record one year was they added a foam tunnel, and and that was the exit, and it was a big covered tunnel that was full of foam, and then the other side was misters. So you had to go through one, and I took my tours there one time and didn't tell anybody about it. I still to this day hear the same sentiment that you guys had. There were people that didn't come out that had like it was a straight tunnel, and they took 90-degree turns in the middle of it. And they were like up against the wall, and they were trying to push their way out. There were people that went in, and then somebody went in behind them, and the person behind them exited. The person in front of them still wasn't out yet. So that was it was just like you said. It is very frightening because you don't know where you are, and it immediately starts your you panic very fast, and you don't feel like you can run.
Yeah, we didn't try to run.
No, we didn't.
It was like they had little rails like right at about hip height, and it was
There was rails?
and it was really tight. Yeah, so like you couldn't really move or get turned away or whatever else. But oh my gosh,
it was one of those things that was also really deceptive because they had this in between the lines for their two different haunts, and you could see that it's just this tiny little box with an entrance and an exit. So you're thinking it's probably really
like
small, but it's also
bigger than the inside.
But it's also the biggest haunted house in Atlanta, so you never know. The entrance and exit are right there by this little box. It could go on forever, and you just don't see it.
Right.
But you go in, and it is really tiny, and you're like, "What the heck?"
There wasn't even an attendant. Like there was nobody standing there. So if somebody went in there and didn't come out, nobody would know until the next person came out and ran into them. It was just off to the side.
Free props.
Yeah, free props. A little bit of foam coming out of the exit door, and you're like, "Oh, I guess we could just go in this thing." And
like, you wonder why it's not there.
About the tunnel at
Texas
reminded me with our maze. One of the things we love about our ancient rickety maze that we put at the end of the haunt is people get so turned around in that thing that we'll have 2, 3, or 4 groups in there at the same time because they'll stack up. And just like you said, groups will pass each other and not help each other to get out. It's hilarious.
No.
You know, so one group will go in and spend half an hour in there while groups just pass them by.
We had a guy call his wife and say that he was stuck in the haunt and he wasn't coming home that night. And she came back and told us about it. It still laughs about it to this day. She goes, "I hope he comes out this time."
Just to be clear, this maze, the footprint of this maze is 11 and a half feet by like 23.
Yeah, so it's not very big.
It's not big.
Yeah.
But in the dark, it's so good.
It's so good.
Because there's no lights in it. There's just netting on top. So whatever natural light that there is nearby filters through, but it's almost pitch black.
Yeah. Right.
So awesome.
My craziest haunt thing that I've ever seen, and it is so Portland. It's so Oregon. Dan may remember this. He never saw it, but Dan will remember it. Me talking about it. We had for 2 years a haunted strip club. And it was literally the first year they did it. It was the 7 deadly sins of stripping. And it was what patrons do wrong or bad in strip clubs. And one of them was the stripper was getting revenge on the person. So the guy was at the rack and he was trying to touch the girl. She turns around, grabs this bucket of very, very large dildos and sets it in front of him and starts beating him with them. And the ending, instead of a chainsaw, it was literally and this was acted by strippers. Like they didn't and it was the upstairs of a strip club. And so there were strippers downstairs and then there were strippers upstairs. And they, at the end, the lady would come out of the bathroom and she was covered in head to toe with red tampons. And she would run at you from the bathroom. She was like the maid or whatever. Just run at you. It was absolutely bonkers in there. And it was just like they went into the room and said, okay, what are all your worst ideas? And they gave them out and they said, we're doing all of those. But I tell you right now, they had lines out the door. I mean, yeah. Dan, what about you?
Gosh, I don't. When I think of craziest, I don't necessarily think like the actual wildest off the wall. When I think crazy, I think over the top.
Okay.
I'm going back out. I think it was Washington when we went on the haunt tour. It was that pirate ship haunt. It was so detailed, and there were so many levels of haunt to that. It was I don't remember what the name of it was.
The pirate ship.
It was all pirate ship. It was, you walked through and it was just, I could look it up because I did a review on it.
You did? I'm trying to remember which one.
Remember which one I'm talking about? It was
I do. I'm trying to remember where that was because it wasn't the Nile. Because they have the different.
Nile was on a golf course.
Yeah, the Nile was on the golf course. Imagine building a haunt on a golf course with slope, and this was in like the picnic area. So they had these big picnic, gazebo things. They would build the haunts, the different scenes in those, but you had to walk from building to building, and it was in Washington where it rains all the time, and they opened even in the rain, and you were walking around. The pirate ship one. I'm trying to figure.
It wasn't all pirate ship. It was like the first half of the haunt.
I wonder if that was the Tacoma Frights one, the one that was in the building where the buses picked us up at. Was it that one?
It wasn't the last haunt on that night.
Okay.
I think it was the first one we went. No, did we go to? Gosh, I don't remember. It wasn't the last.
I've been to so many haunts now. It's all meshing together. I think I remember what you're talking about though, and yes, it was very detailed. I've been to some crazy pirate haunts, like 13th Gate. That's got a crazy pirate area.
Yeah.
We will report back to people what haunt that was because he'll find the review later. Let's see. I know that one of our best questions that I love to give out. Oh no, wait, we need to do that after this. I was getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited and I'm so on fire about this that I want to get to this question, but we're going to do different questions first because it's getting hot out here. It's summertime, you know.
Good old rapid fire questions with an awful.
Christopher wrote that one for me. I had to read it. He wrote it for me. Sorry.
Don't be
I did not. I did not.
I know.
You're sick. You're sick, Christopher. You don't know what you're saying.
I know it wasn't you.
You're delusional, buddy. Too much cough syrup.
Anyway, rapid fire questions, guys. 5 questions. Answer them as quick as possible. You can shout it out. You guys can take a turn and each say it. Doesn't matter to me. Just answer the questions as quick as possible in a timely manner. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Maybe.
Okay.
Sort of.
Kind of.
What is the perfect length of time to walk through a haunted attraction?
10 minutes.
22. I say 25.
We should preface that pro haunt or home haunt.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Either.
There you go. Okay. Next question.
Maybe.
Or silicone mask.
We get graded on here.
You do.
Yes.
I'm
It's great on the-
grading as we go.
Yeah. You have to ask it
Or
again.
two,
It is
three
a
down.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't
I'm
hear
sorry.
you. Sorry.
That's okay. You
We're
ready?
talking in class.
Unbelievable.
Ready.
Latex masks or silicone masks?
Silicone.
You don't have to
Yes.
be wearing them.
Different
Whatever.
situations. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Different
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. Third question. Dan or Troy?
Why do we have to choose? That's not
Susie.
She's not even on.
Or for Susie. That's so awesome.
She didn't even show up.
I think she's beating us now.
4, right? That's 4 votes.
Well, it's nice having you guys on.
Yes. Look at the time.
Zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
Vampires.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
And then the final one. What is more important, the facade or the final scare?
Ooh, I gotta go final scare.
Final scare.
Yeah.
I think facade. Because that's what you're. Well, I'm up there.
That's the one out front.
Because that's where they get the anticipation from me.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So
Good job.
You stand there for a long time.
I talk to a
I mean,
lot of people.
I think both are important, but for me, it's the final scare because that's what you remember.
Awesome.
You also
Both are
remember the
important.
facade. I'm telling you, I'm a huge facade guy.
Yeah.
So they're both important. They both have to be there. But I'm a huge facade guy. I love the facades.
Me too.
You can
You
spend
hype
hours.
yourself up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always give the example of Dark Hour Haunted House. It's, it's amazing on the inside. It literally is a warehouse building with a round sign that says Dark Hour out front.
Yep.
And I'm like, but that's because all of their creative energy is inside the building. They just don't have the time nor really the care to do the outside because they know the inside's so good. But at the same time, I'm like, but really, you could do a pretty cool facade out here.
Yep.
I always think it's interesting because it's cool out front, but I always feel like we could do more out there for the facade to make it better.
Right.
But I think one of the neatest things, because I always work inside the basement. And so by the time they get to me, they've already gone through half the yard and half the basement.
Tired.
But the coolest thing about it is like I hear over and over and over, this is so amazing. This is so much better than any haunt I've been to. Or this is like, I think because it's not this big blown up facade out front, we
have an entire graveyard out front.
Amazingly surprised when they come through. Well, that's
the mood.
Yeah, it's connected.
Yeah, our entire front yard is a giant graveyard. We had a mausoleum there that kind of survived. And that was the tropical storm year that, it was, it looks more weathered now. But, we have that and that's kind of the lead up to it. And then, so we have what we can because we need the space for the people. So
Right.
Yeah.
We've had to create a new line because we had so many people.
Yeah. Do you have,
which is a good problem.
Right. Do you have any problems with other neighbors or police saying that, it's too much?
Not so far.
Not so far.
Yeah.
Our surrounding neighbors are all pretty nice, and our
supportive.
HOA is very supportive.
Okay.
So we've done pretty well on that. When you start a home hunt, traffic and crowd management is not usually at the top of your list of things you're going to have to worry about until it happens.
Yep.
Yep.
But we've managed to manage it fairly well, and we're lucky enough to be like by our pool area, so our amenities area we can kind of use as a parking lot.
Oh, good.
We have that kind of going for us. It's still not big enough because when the bus pulls up, you still don't know where to park a bus in the neighborhood. So you're like, okay.
Yep.
We don't have bathrooms. So
Yeah, but we're getting bigger, and we've had to start thinking about a lot of those things, but those cost money, and then where does that come from? And
because we started years ago with putting a floater out just because it would be fun, and this guy was really good at interacting with people, and we had him out by the line. But now we've got 2 or 3 floaters, and they have to have radios now so that they can keep tabs on stuff in case anything goes wrong, and all this kind of.
Yep.
So we've grown.
Do you have any plans in the future that you want to maybe go away from the home? Have you thought of that, or do you want to always stay in the home?
All of our plans for that kind of stuff, I think we all agree, start with the term angel investor.
Yeah.
Very angelic.
Well, did you tell them what Scavenged Souls means? Why we chose that name? That's a large part of this.
Yeah. So the reason we came up with that name and why our logo looks like a pile of junk is because the vast majority of what we have and what we build our hunt with comes from dumpsters and construction sites and things like that. Because wood's expensive, and everything's expensive. So we dump our actual money into lighting and effects and whatnot, but everything else we have to go fish out of somebody else's trash.
Heck yeah.
I tend to be the diver of the dumpster.
Yeah.
We need to stick together. Dumpster Divers United.
We need a union or something. The family down the street that works with us now, we got our first real introduction with them when they were having work done and had a dumpster in their driveway, and we said, "Hey,
we were like,
can we come dive in your dumpster?"
Hi, we're your neighbors.
And then that's where we found our makeup artist.
Yeah, not in the dumpster.
Not in the dumpster.
Well, and Tracy works at a thrift store. We get stuff that way too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm the one that's always shopping around, but I shopped so much at the one thrift store. I started working there, so now I can source some of the stuff that we need through there. So
get it before it goes out on the shelves. Yeah. I like it. That's smart. You know what? Nobody likes you guys anymore. Nobody likes you. You got engineers, you got fire marshal at one, you got a thrift store employee. This is just not fair.
So when you come to
I mean, you've only been in Texas a short time. You haven't really put down your roots. Just move to Georgia. You're most of the way here.
My bank account every month, it says my mortgage payment is roots enough for me.
Yeah.
I will let you guys know in 30 years when the loan is up.
29.
29. So I have been here a year now.
Stop.
I don't think I've actually made a payment to the house yet. I think it's still interest. So
that's the first 28 years.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So not to freak you guys out or anything, and I know this is less time for you guys because you opened much earlier, but we are only 86 days away from Halloween.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's
I looked at this when I typed it yesterday. I freaked out.
Are you allowed to say things like that?
You can say whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Oh my gosh.
86 from Halloween.
See, that's terrifying.
It's
really
I know.
Yeah,
it is. Like when I said it was 100, I was like, oh, okay, I got time. Now, granted, I do, and maybe this is the same way with you guys. I do my best work right when I have to do it. Like September, I'm sitting there going, oh crap, I got to build this, this, and this. And I crank it out and it's good. I mean, it's good enough for me, you know, and I cannot sit there and say, oh, it's June. I got all this time. I'm going to start cranking away at some props. And then it comes August and I still haven't touched any of them yet. So if I have that much time in front of me, I cannot manage it well. But you guys said you guys start like in May, right?
We really started building in what? June?
Yeah, the
Kind
real
of
build
collecting.
starts in June.
I feel like a lot of it's planning.
The bigger,
A lot of
bigger, more intricate crops start a little before that, but yeah, it's, you know, I'd say, you know, by the time May rolls around, we've got most of the ideas pretty much nailed down exactly what we're going to do.
Well, I envy you on that. I can't do it. I can't do it. I also have 50 other things that I do all the time, so there is that too. So I'm always doing something.
Oh, right there with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they got 5 kids.
Not to say that we're working on it every day starting in May, but you know.
Right.
It's a nice
she made it very evident that Robert does nothing and she does everything. So that's we got that from the outset.
I just sleep and eat apparently.
Yes.
All right.
Take up space.
Yeah.
Take up space.
Yeah.
So, but now to our final awesome question, and you can all 4 answer it. But here we go.
The age-old question of what does haunting mean to you?
Because I started last time you started.
Okay.
You don't do anything else.
Right.
Right?
I've had plenty of time to think about this answer. I think I really like Halloween because it feels like the community holiday. All the other holidays that are commonly observed are great in their own ways, but they all seem to be focused on family, you know, like getting together with close relatives, close friends, whatever, and you get together and you almost kind of cocoon and do things with these people. Yeah. Halloween, at least in the United States, is the exact opposite of that. It's a big community, just, you know, ridiculous festival where everybody goes out and interacts with everybody else. And in some cases, that may be one of the few times in a year you see some of your literal neighbors, depending on what's going on. So that to me is really what sets it apart. And doing haunting in that framework, in that kind of context, is like just bringing all of that energy kind of together and amplifying it and making it that much more fun for everybody to enjoy that aspect of the season.
Damn.
I've never heard it explained like that. That is badass.
So well articulated.
Yeah.
Well done.
I want a nickel every time you.
I hate to be the person that has to follow up that one.
Right?
Well,
it's his wife that does everything else. So he comes up with amazing nuggets of wisdom.
My answer was very similar, although I think it is a little different, because I think what I enjoy most about it is not just the neighbors, but we kind of have a name for ourselves in the community now. And so I think it's really fun to hear, like, to wear your shirt out places and to be like, oh, we went through your haunt last year or whatever. Or like having families plan their kids' birthday parties around going to the haunt. And oh yeah, that happens several times. Or like sports teams will come through together and they'll plan
kids sports.
Yes, kids sports teams will plan events to come through the haunt. And that to me is not just the community aspect of it is a little more broad, because I like how it's the Cherokee County area, you know, and now it's become a thing that it's become a
landmark or a destination.
Yeah, and it's a routine for people every year. They come through our haunt every year and they want to come back and see what's new this next year. And that's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of something like that, especially, you know, something that creates so much good for other people, you know, that are hungry, and especially before Thanksgiving. I mean, the timing of it is so good to get that food for those people. So that to me is I think why we all do it, really. So.
Yeah.
And the thrift store that I work at is where one of the smaller pantries is. So I can actually see who visits the pantry and see who it's helping. So I've kind of learned the people that do that. So I'm actually seeing directly seeing how we're helping. And it's amazing to see that and to be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think all of us kind of share the same philosophy on Halloween, like Robert was saying, that, it's the holiday that's community based. You don't have to be part of any particular group or belief or anything like that to just go out and have fun. And even if you're not a haunter, you can be yourself, because it's your chance to go out and dress up and be the character you want to be. And it's accepted by everybody on that night to go do it. And, the fact that we're able to take something like that and leverage it into, food donations to help the community out just makes it even better, especially because, we keep it as a home haunt because a pro haunt is a much bigger deal, and we're not ready to go the business route. It's a lot of fun to be where we're at.
Yeah.
But being able to do the community aspect makes all the effort worth it.
Yeah. I don't know how I piggyback onto any of that. But yes, the same.
Yeah. I think it's.
And I think it works for us. I share the same.
Yeah.
The same thoughts.
We're all kind of on the same page with it, so we're all moving towards the same goals.
Yeah.
But that amount of food this year it's crazy when we total it up and get that total and see that, and you're just like, holy cow, we had a ton of food.
Yeah.
A ton and a half of food.
I think it's interesting that there are so many home haunters, and there are a fair amount of pro haunts that do charity stuff too, that it's not really a second thought. Like there's a lot of them that come out of it because they're doing something for charity. They either did a charity haunt and then they decided to start it at their home as well, and then they kept the charity part going. But also it's just there's some people who they started a home haunt and it was just part of the process. Yeah, we're going to collect food. We're going to collect money for this or support this charity or whatever. And it was just like, it's just synonymous with it that there's so many people that do it and nobody told them to do it. Like it wasn't like at Christmas time, you have an event, you're kind of expected to have some sort of charity aspect to it. Nobody said scaring people and making creepy, gory stuff should also have a charity aspect to it. Like it was just a weird thing, but now it's just, this is what everybody does. And it's not forced, but everybody just kind of does it. And I think that's really cool that it wasn't something people felt they needed to do because others were doing it. It's because they genuinely care about it. And, we're all individuals that have things that happen to us or people we know, that it's easy for us to say, well, yeah, we want to support this charity or this community, things like that. Plus it also helps with the city because the city has a really hard time coming down on people that are doing things for charity.
Yep. That's been in the discussion when we've talked about going pro, is that you lose a lot of privileges and things when you take away the charity aspect.
Yeah. I think we're pro too. I mean, I got a job. I know that may be news, but
wow.
I don't want a second job. And it would really, I don't know. I would be worried that it would suck too much fun out of it anyway.
It does.
I mean, it's a ton of work. It's a ton of time. It's a ton of stress, but it's all still fun.
Right.
And the moment it became crap, we're not going to make our rent for the last 3 months of the year. If we don't blah, blah, whatever else starts to become just, that sucks.
Right. It's spreadsheets instead of graph paper.
Yeah, we got some spreadsheets already.
We all have some spreadsheets.
This is Mr. Spreadsheet right here. So
I mean, it's not my middle name, but it could be.
Well, too, I think the joy of doing it at home is that, one of the things that we love about our haunt is that we change the theme every year. We change the layout of the walkthrough every year, and it's much harder to do that when you're pro,
Yes, it is. Back to have the kids involved in it
also
too.
that.
And it becomes this weird learning thing because all of a sudden there's math involved, and then you have to. So it becomes these kind of lessons, and they have to learn stuff, and it's been really valuable, and it's also been really cool to watch them grow up through the haunt.
Yeah.
So. And they're all interested in one aspect or another, so it's just really cool.
Yep. Yeah. 2 years ago, we gave a trick problem to one of the older kids.
Yeah.
And like, we need this for this part. Figure this out. What is the length of this piece?
Audrey did it?
I think it was Audrey.
Yeah.
I think we gave it to Audrey and Tyler. See. But yeah.
Nice.
The older two.
Well, we have come to the point in our show where I will be telling people how to find everything about you guys. So they have a Facebook page, obviously. If you haven't figured it out by now, audience, everybody that we have on our show has a Facebook page, a YouTube page, and an Instagram. But you can follow them on here. They also have a website made by the amazing Chad Savage, because we can tell by the amazing websites that he makes. So you got lots of stuff on there. You can see their open dates. You can donate if you feel the need. They also have a merch store. Not too many home haunts have merch stores, so I love this. Got some cool swag here. And
actually, the artwork that's on my shirt and Mike's shirt were done, if you can see under the cat there, by their daughter.
Yeah, these were the artworks that were on photo op for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know, are they on the merch store?
Yeah, they're on the merch store.
2023 shirt. I don't know if it has yours on it.
2 and 3.
Yeah, 2022 and 23.
Oh, and 22. Both.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
That's from
That was the design, and that was for our the photo op, and then we ended up using it for our merch. So
there you go. See, that is cool. And then they have their Instagram page, which you can follow along, and when they're ready, they will release their theme for this year, probably on Instagram and Facebook. So
I don't think it'll get released. Walk through it.
If you show up on the 11th, you'll know what that theme is.
There you go. See, you gotta show up.
And we did a teaser, and that's still on our website, but you really couldn't tell what the theme was by looking at that teaser. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
The theme is scary.
Yeah. The theme is always scary.
Scary. Yeah. They do have a YouTube page. Like I said, they haven't been really good on documenting yet, but they did a fantastic job last year. So I'm sure we will see more videos on YouTube as we go
last year we hired our friend Steven to do our photography and our videography. He's a concert photographer, so he's a lot better than us and ourselves. We were able to pull him in, and
he works better in low light and knows how to grab those shots, and clearly it worked.
Yeah.
So
great. It was amazing. Yeah. So there you go. Boom. This was the best part of the house this year. Nice.
The 11-year-old kid.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming on. It's been a treat. Before we leave,
thank you.
Before we say our goodbyes, Troy, what's happening next week?
Well, we come to a point in every season when we don't have, we're trying to find guests, and we're like, God, nobody wants to be on in August. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel pretty much. And we found this guy. He was roaming the streets of Chicago like a month ago. And he was he's totally undead. He likes to cook. He's got a murder dog. He's going to talk to us all about working at Spirit Halloween and breaking props. It is Mr. Kevin Biksacki from Chicago.
I can't wait.
It's going to be one off the rails show.
It's definitely going to be way off the rails.
I don't know which Kevin we're going to get. I'll tell you that right now.
Probably all of them.
Probably.
All right. Well, I think we've overstayed our welcome, as we always do in our overextended 1-hour segment show. Again, thank you, everybody, for coming on.
We talked to them for an hour.
Who?
We talked to them for an hour. See, we said the Haunt Tower. We didn't say what part of it was an hour.
Always
an hour. For an hour.
Always more than an hour.
Right. We talked to the guests for an hour, then we banter for the rest.
Troy, it's okay.
It's all wordsmith.
Troy, deep breaths.
Or
trick out.
All right. Until next Tuesday. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk to you